Okay, I'm ready to do this. I am ready to do this show. Clash of Champions. Clash of freaking Champions. Charlotte, North Carolina. There's a lot to say about this show tonight. Some good, some bad. Some things I probably would hate the worst. Some surprising things going on at the same time too. But was this show good in general? And I'm a little, I'm iffy. I'll say this. You had its high points, you had its low points. Now I'm going to wait till my final thoughts on the show, but like I said before, there was some good, there was some bad, and there was some things I just really didn't give a crap about throughout half of this show. And I will say the crowd kind of showed some of that too in certain points of the show, given how long it was. And did it feel like a marathon tonight? And well, not all the way yet, because at least it ended about 9:30. I will say that, and it ended at the 10 o'clock mark, because the show's been on since about 6 p.m. today. Or was it 5 o'clock? No, 5 o'clock, I should say. 5 o'clock it's been on. So this show's been on for a very long time tonight. And where do I begin? I guess we're going to kick it off with the Cruiserweight title on the line. Drew Gulak versus Humberto Carlo versus Lince Dorado. I'm just going to say this here. I know nothing of this match. I really don't even know who Humberto Carlo is. I only probably knew a little off of NXT, but I do not watch 205 Live, so I have literally no idea why this match is even happening, okay? Lince Dorado, Lucha House Party. And I kind of figured Gulak was winning, because the only thing I really known about 205, especially out of this week when they were at the Garden, I believe, fans didn't pay attention, and I remember clips of Botchamania, I believe, being put up on the internet, or botches of about the crowd cheering for a baby, then not caring about the main event when they started chanting, "Hey, we want some baby," and chanting rock, paper, scissors in the Garden before the show went off the air on 205 Live. Listen, this wasn't bad. I thought it was a good match for what it was. Don't get me wrong. It had at least about 10 minutes out there. I think Humberto Carlo's good. Like I said before, but I don't know what's really going on 205. I don't really watch it. I just kind of figured Gulak was going to win just because the Lucha House Party, I don't know what they do on 205 Live. Most everybody kind of looks at them as jokes anyways. I don't think they saw Humberto Carlo winning, and I don't know. Like, I will say the fans kind of liked it a little. At least they were interested in the match. I didn't think it was bad or anything. It's just, I just don't know what's going on 205 Live, and I feel like the only time you're going to know what's going on 205 Live unless a pay-per-view match happens on here. So that feels like the only time you are going to know anything about 205 Live happening if you see the match on the pay-per-view, which is most likely going to be on the pre-show. So, it was what it was. And one thing I should add about this also before I move on with the next match, throughout every match of the night, and I noticed, I guess it fits the Clash of Champions theme, but everyone that had a title match pretty much almost had like the takeover type of feel to it, where they have the spotlight now in a way. The only difference was it kind of had gold surrounding the ring and stuff. Kind of like a gold lighting, like a yellow light, and the announcer, was it Greg Hamilton, pretty much talked about what title match it was going to be, and kind of had a spotlight, almost similar to Takeover. So that was something. It was okay for what I thought it was, because it just kind of you just kind of saw like almost like how they do on Takeover. They have a big spotlight, but now this time they just kind of went with just like the lighting was like kind of like a gold around it, but it was like a gold, but instead of the white in the ring with a white light to it. But like I said before, it was just very similar to Takeover and entrances of how they do that. But yeah, though, good match. So I'll just go off from that from 205 and everything. But yeah, it was alright for what it was. Next on the card for the pre-show, which I'm sure a lot of people were very, very surprised to see this happen, that the United States Championship was on the line. And I'm sitting there wondering, like, wait, we're going to do this right now? We're not going to do it on the main show, but we're going to do this on the pre-show, though. So I'm sitting there thinking to myself, AJ Styles versus Cedric Alexander is on the freaking pre-show. what the fuck is this shit? And I know Cedric is from, Charlotte, North Carolina, so he got a good pop out there, but I was just very surprised that they even put this on the pre-show. I know this was kind of a last-minute thing. I know Cedric pinned him on Monday, but you expect this to be on a main show, especially for the pay-per-view. Why was this on the pre-show? If you wanted to put a pre-show match on, you could have put the women's tag belts in the pre-show. And I will say this for this. This was a very quick match, which just kind of went too fast, if you ask me. They didn't even get a full 5 minutes. They had like 4 minutes and 55 seconds. Don't get me wrong, these guys start hitting finishers right off the bat. From a Michinoku driver in the beginning, and going outside the ring, a brain bust on the ring apron. I will say it made Styles look like a very big threat out here, because he did hit a Styles clash on the outside of the ring, threw him back in, went for the calf killer. Alexander got to the ropes, but pretty much Styles hit a phenomenal forearm. He was going to pin him, but he was like, no. Hits him with the Styles clash for the win. Personally, I think this match could have been at least about 10 or 15 minutes. Give it another 5-10 minutes, to be honest, because under a 5-minute match is not enough, okay? And pretty much, the OC pretty much came out and beat up Cedric right after that. I was kind of surprised that AJ did win over clean, because, you're going to lose in your hometown, so I kind of figured that was going to happen with Cedric, and Cedric got the win on Monday. So in a way, it's 50-50 booking, but, my friend Steven told me tonight this. Do not be surprised if they do this match again on Monday Night Raw tomorrow, and somehow Cedric wins the title, and they put on a way better match with more time on Raw tomorrow night. So do not be surprised if you see a rematch tomorrow, because it's most likely could happen, okay? But I was just very surprised this match was on the pre-show. I don't think it should have been on the pre-show, and it should have been on the main show. And given that little quick burst they had out there, it was good, I will say that, but it needed more time. Under 5 minutes is not enough for a U.S. title match, which I'm sure people are going to say is already undermeans the title as it is already. I don't know whose idea it was to put this on a pre-show, but I think this was a dumb move if you ask me, but it did make AJ look super strong out there, I will say that. And just kind of, kills the hometown guy, which, like I said before, this company loves, they love it to make people lose in their hometown, so that's them. But, I just think that this match could have been on the main show, and it needed another 10 to 15 minutes out there, and you would have put on probably a classic out there, if you ask me, with AJ and Cedric. So, under 5 minutes is not enough for this, but AJ Styles still retains the United States Championship. We didn't get to the main show of Clash of Champions. We kick it off with the Raw Tag titles on the line. Seth Rollins and Braun Strowman versus Bobby Roode and Dolph Ziggler, since this match is going to, Rollins and Strowman got a fight later in the main event. So let's do this match right now, right off the bat at the beginning. Do I really care about this match that much? Not really for the Raw Tag titles. Pretty much the finish ended up with Roode going for the Glorious DDT. Strowman comes in, hits him with a shoulder block, knocking him and Seth Rollins down, almost kind of making him look like a giant oaf out there. And then Strowman tried to charge into Ziggler. Ziggler ducks, Strowman falls through the ropes, and then Roode pretty much hits the Glorious DDT on Seth Rollins for the win, which pretty much now Roode and Ziggler are now the new tag team champions. Do I really care? Not really. I don't, okay? Listen, it's just two makeshift tag teams going against each other for some titles, and it pretty much just undermines the whole tag division, like I said a few weeks ago when they had Roode and Ziggler win this whole thing to begin with, because it's literally two guys that literally have nothing going on right now. Roode was already kind of killed by creative, and he had nothing going on, and when he had the mustache, something was going to happen, but it didn't happen. Ziggler, I just don't even understand at this point how they even keep pushing this guy, but hey, they do for some odd reason. I don't understand it, I really don't, but they do it for some reason with Ziggler. I have no idea. I got no idea. Like I said, though, do I care about them being the tag team champions? Not really. Should I see where this goes? Possibly. But and then again, you know what really kind of gave away the finish right off the bat? here's what really gave way to finish that you knew Rude and Ziggler were gonna win. The champions come out first. So there you go. I knew who was gonna win this match right off the beginning, so I didn't even feel like I needed to waste my time watching this whole thing. You know, I still did, but come on, champions come out first. Come on, that's just telling you a red flag right there. They're gonna lose the titles. There you go. I know some people said, maybe we could wait on it. And don't get me wrong, there's been instances where it's been kind of, proven other way when the champions come out first. But history has seen it repeat itself several times with many people. And I remember this happens at WrestleMania a lot too. If the champion comes out first on any type of whatever pay-per-view title match, you knew they lose the belt. You know they lose the titles. One way or another, they losing the titles. Okay? Okay, so boom, there you go. I am not surprised. I am not surprised in one bit that they lost the titles. Okay, champs come out first. That just gives away the finish as it is already, and the match was just kind of whatever to begin with too. So you need to focus only on the main event for that. Next match on the card, which we're gonna go for a lot of rapid fire matches. I feel like that became really short. Number 1, Bayley versus Charlotte for the SmackDown Women's title. This is Flair country, so yeah, of course Charlotte's gonna get a lot of woo chants and everything. Fans seem to boo Bayley as she came out, which I was very confused who was the heel in this match. But looking at the video package, they kind of made Bayley look like a heel more into this, which the fans did boo at her because it's Flair country. As for the match itself, though, there's not really much to talk about in this match, but it pretty much ended up with, Charlotte throwing around Bayley for a second. Bayley at one point, Flair kept kicking Bayley till the referee pulled her off. Bayley, who was right by the turnbuckle, pulled the bottom one off. Charlotte walked up on her. Bayley pretty much threw Charlotte all the way to the ground onto the exposed turnbuckle, pretty much getting the win. And then Bayley took her belt and ran all the way back to the hills, running to the back, just running very fast. So pretty much right here, like I said before, I don't need to repeat myself of how this company loves. They love they just like to have when you lose in your hometown, but. Pretty much now, Bayley, I guess, is a chicken shit heel, even though she still comes out as a face. But this could just be a slow burn to her being a face in a way, because she doesn't believe she's a heel because she believes she's still a face, even though she did heel-like qualities. Even in this match, she had a lot of heel-like qualities in here. Pulling the turnbuckle down, getting the quick pin, and then headed all the way to the back, which even people said, what was she running from? But, she took her belt and she ran off. So, pretty much this does tell you more that Bayley is the heel, or like I said before, could it be a slow burn? Because it's been very confusing ever since they had Bayley, quote-unquote, turn heel to help Sasha. And you didn't really know who was going to be the heel and face at that point, especially her versus Charlotte, which I almost looked at as a heel versus heel match. But it looks like they're kind of positioning Charlotte to be more of a face than a heel. Charlotte pretty much, got up and just pretty much looked at it. But do not be surprised if there's a rematch at Hell in a Cell with Bayley and Charlotte, given how this match went. But I did kind of find it hilarious, though, that she just immediately took her title and just ran as fast as she could, that she never came back. So Bayley pretty much headed for the hills and got the hell up out of this arena as soon as she, retained her championship. The Revival versus the New Day. This is a match where I feel like the crowd could have gotten somewhat with it, but they did not really care for the Revival, and I'm seeing more and more why. And a lot of things don't make sense of this. First of all, the match wasn't really that bad. This was pretty much the Revival kind of dominating the New Day in a way, because the Revival did hit a shatter machine on the outside on Big E, and then they focused on Woods. They did hit him with a shatter machine then, but then pretty much says, no, not yet. They pretty much tore the knee brace off of Woods, and Dawson put him in a submission hold until Woods tapped out. And then next thing you know, they cut this promo, which, by the way, it looks like they were trying to get heat and everything on the New Day, but I swear this crowd did not literally care about the Revival. They just didn't, okay? I'll say what you want, but they did not care. They really didn't, all right? There's no other way I can really put that, so excuse me, but yeah, it just looked like they didn't. And then they pretty much talked about we're the champions now, and that Randy Orton's going to beat Kofi Kingston tonight. Now, the thing that doesn't really make sense from this is this. You have a Raw tag team beating a SmackDown tag team. Yes, a Raw tag team win the SmackDown tag titles. Makes no sense. It really doesn't. Because why? Is it because of wild card? I don't even know anymore. We don't. Okay, so it makes literally no sense to even why they even have the belts. I'm sure many people are gonna say that yes, a Raw tag team is holding the SmackDown tag titles. What does that tell you? But pretty much soon enough, I'm sure the Revival will be going to SmackDown since they announced today that the... But yes, as it was announced today, the draft is coming back in the next few weeks in October when SmackDown moves to Fox. So I'm sure the Revival will be moved to SmackDown since they have the SmackDown tag titles. But right now, it doesn't make sense. Now, I will give my quick thoughts on the draft, though. I will say that. Number one, I do believe it is needed because, this whole wild card thing has messed everybody up. And this gives you a perfect example of how this whole roster doesn't even make sense anymore, because it looks like anybody can show up on anybody's show, and it could be a Raw person versus a SmackDown person for whatever title. And this wild card hasn't really done any favors also, because now, the wild card is just, we don't even mention a wild card no more, but it's just laughable to me that you have a team from another show winning a title on another show, which literally makes no type of sense. It really doesn't. That I just got to the point where anybody just shows up on anyone's show, and that's the point. But with the draft coming back, though, it's almost like a reset button again. Can it be like 2016 when things were good? I don't know, because you could have a draft, and personally, it does need to be done, and we'll see what comes from it. And I'm sure Fox is making these moves anyway when that'll be draft back, which will be on Raw and USA and SmackDown on Fox. But there's other things that it's gonna be serious, it's gonna be more compelling storylines. Hey, seeing is believing, so I will say that until I see it, that's when I'll believe it. Okay, but right now, we'll just have to wait and see. But I do not mind the draft coming back, and it was already kind of being rumored to begin with, but I believe, like I said, Fox and WWE have let out the bag today, so we'll see what comes from that, and maybe they'll get things back in order with things going on around here between Raw and SmackDown when the whole draft happens again. So it looks like they got to reshuffle everybody in the deck to put them on different shows to make some things sorted out on here, okay? So that's my thoughts on the draft right now when it comes. But it's a move that I felt that was definitely needed to begin with. Next, Harley Quinn, and oh my God, this girl was Harley Quinn a few years ago when the Suicide Squad movie came out. Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross being interviewed in the back. R-Truth was the boom operator with the camera, saying she was another Carmella. Bliss pretty much took the mic and said, "Truth is on set with the title. You should come find him now." And, everybody started chasing Truth. But this women's tag belts, I do not care. I just don't care. Now, the match, it wasn't that bad kind of coming to the end, but it felt very flat in the beginning that the crowd did not care. Now, they popped a little for Bliss when she came out, because I'm sure it was because the Harley Quinn thing. And, they got to mention the Suicide Squad, because John Cena is now going to be in the Suicide Squad movie. Hopefully it's better than the last Suicide Squad movie, but he's going to be in that, so I guess they have to have her come out as Quinn again. And Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville, Fire and Desire, which it kind of makes their theme songs back and forth together. And I thought they had like this, Heaven and Hell, Angel or Yin and Yang thing kind of going on and stuff too. But, the 24/7 guys came out with the title and chasing Truth. Bliss tried to pin Truth. I felt like there was a better reaction in this entire match, but Truth pretty much continued to chase. It got a little good in the end, because Mandy Rose and Deville pretty much did like their Red Dragon finisher with that high-low thing, but Cross pretty much saved Bliss. Cross pretty much avoided Mandy Rose's V-trigger like move and hit her with the neck breaker for the clean win. So Bliss and Nikki Cross still retain the titles. This was like 9 minutes. I don't know why this was now in the pre-show, but the U.S. title was still. That doesn't make any sense to me. You know, personally, you've heard me say it before. I just said kill the freaking belts because I just don't even understand at this point. And then again, what other teams do they have to face now since they have beaten Mandy Rose and Deville? Because this match didn't even almost feel like for the titles to begin with. Most of the time, it's been about who's hot and who's not after that promo they did on SmackDown with Mandy Rose on Tuesday. I wondered, what does any of this have to do with the belts? What does it have to do? This, even I would look at this match, it's like, is this about the titles or is this because of who's hot and who's not? So it was very hard to care about this match. I think it kind of got a little bit better in the finish, but at the same time, does anyone care about these belts? Seriously, that it wasn't almost even about the belts. It was trying to see who's hot and who's not. That's basically what it was. So yeah, I don't know what you could take from that, but yeah, Bliss and Cross, they still retain the titles. I don't know what other team they got to face next, to be honest, but hey, man, that's them, man. They still running with these women tag belts. Not my thing, but you know, hey, they're still running with it. Next, United States Champion, Intercontinental Championship on the line. The Miz versus Shinsuke Nakamura. Whew, this was another tough one, I believe, to talk about. Of course, his manager, Dancing Sammy, out there had a neck brace on, giving a full entrance for Shinsuke Nakamura because the neck brace was there because of he got chokeslammed by The Undertaker. And then next thing you know, as soon as this match begins, which, by the way, Nakamura had a cape coming out, so I'm sure a lot of people try to call him Superman out there. Or they said it was somebody from an anime, I don't know which one, but a lot of people say he is now Superman with that cape on. And pretty much as the match began, Sami Zayn was pretty much acting like Leo Rush again, talking throughout the match and making fun of North Carolina, of how the Panthers lost to the Buccaneers the other night, about their team. But pretty much they did cut Sami Zayn's mic, which I did believe that was pretty funny. I will say that. You know, cutting his mic off as he was still talking. And listen, this match isn't really to talk about. To be honest, I felt like Nakamura had to carry Miz through this. I really did. It's like, this match is only going to be good if Nakamura actually is trying out here. Which it looked like he did, but I feel like he had to carry him at the same time. Sami Zayn got involved again at one point using his shoe on the Miz, but it did not work. He avoided Kinshasa and did hit the skull crushing finale, but pretty much then Sami Zayn got up, and then next you know, Miz looked like an idiot out here chasing around Sami Zayn until Nakamura kicked him, throws him back in, hits him with a Kinshasa, and wins the match, retaining the Intercontinental Championship. Listen, I didn't really care about this match to begin with. I did not really care about this feud going on. It just was laughable to me when I was just reading Nakamura versus The Miz. But come on, who really thought Nakamura was really going to lose this match? Let's be serious, yeah. And they got Dancing Sammy out there with him, so they're trying to make this manager thing working, which it's doing a little, I will say that. I thought it was a little funny with Sami Zayn out there on the mic and stuff, and, you know, just getting involved when he's got a neck brace on. But Miz, he just kind of like a goofball, and I just, in a way, I still did not care about this match at the same time. Just looking at both these guys, really, I just did not care. And I like Nakamura, but it's not even the same Nakamura anymore. And Miz, I don't know. I don't even understand anymore with the Miz half the time. I just don't. So it is what it is. But I ain't really caring. The match was just and look at the crowd. Like, the only time they were gonna react was when Sami Zayn talked about him. So that was it. But next though, probably the most interesting thing, or the best thing, some will argue tonight: Becky Lynch versus Sasha Banks for the Raw Women's title. Right off the bat, these two start going in with each other, just right in. No type of chain wrestling. Someone put out to me that both women just started brawling with each other. Banks trying to go for the Banks statement, but did not work. Lynch pretty much kind of countered into an exploder suplex. Fans chanted Becky, and this is awesome chants throughout this match. Well, she tried to go for a disarmer thing, but Sasha got out of there, and pretty much tried to go back for the Banks statement again. Excuse me. Pretty much as, you know, the match went on, Banks looked like she hit like what, 2 or 3 backstabbers. Went for the Banks statement again, but Becky was still able to get to the ropes. Sasha pretty much tried to block it, but Becky tried to roll it to a pin. Sasha kicked out and she started screaming. She got a steel chair in, was about to get into the ring. Becky tried to grab it, but she kind of faked the steel chair. It was like an Eddie Guerrero move, but distract the referee, use a second chair, hit Becky with it in the gut, and then or was it the knee, I believe, but still it's a 2 count. Next thing you know, Becky got the chair in, and oh boy, no, Sasha had it was either Becky or Sasha had the chair, and then the referee had tried to stop it several times, but the referee tried to take the chair from Becky, but next thing you know, she tried to swing it at Banks. Sasha ducked, and next thing you know, the match is pretty much done after this. It was in a way, it was kind of a weak chair shot, but Becky pretty much, I guess she killed this referee by hitting him in the shoulder. So the referee is pretty much dead right after this. He got hit in the shoulder with a steel chair, and he was gone for the rest of the time. Throughout the rest of this brawl with Becky and Sasha, as they fought through the crowd, man, this referee was dead from a steel chair shot to the shoulder. Not the head, not the back, one shot. And it didn't even look that hard of a shot, too. But I just said this referee just played dead for nearly almost 10 minutes throughout this time, and I kind of thought that was silly. The referee is just dead. And then next thing you know, Becky tried to go after Sasha with the chair. Sasha ran to the crowd then. Becky, she about to run to the crowd, run to the crowd. Becky still attacked Sasha, trying to hit her with the disarmer. It did not work. They fought into the crowd. They went all the way up almost to the concession stand. Becky started pouring mustard on the back of Sasha then. They went back into the arena. They fought all the way back to the ring then. Pretty much they start trying to swing another chair at each other. Becky had the chair. She started hitting Sasha with it at one point. And then she was going to, pretty much she sat in the chair, was going to put like a disarmer on her, but the referees and some agents came out. Fans trying to let them fight several times until, he finally broke them up with Becky holding up her title. I will say this was probably one of the best things throughout the night. I know a lot of people are not going to be a fan of the finish that happened and believe Sasha should have won this match. Personally, I thought Sasha was going to win this match in general, but I see they want to drag this thing along, and most likely this match will be at Hell in a Cell, and a Hell in a Cell match between Sasha and Becky. The crowd was really into it, though. They loved what was going on. And it was a big thing. I will say that. Probably one of the best things throughout the entire night. But I do agree, if you don't like the finish, though, especially the referee just getting killed by a chair, never to be heard from again, that we had to hear from the announcers, like, this match is already over. The match is already over, okay? So, but yeah, in a way, this was kind of an easy way out for both of them. Number one, you can't have Sasha losing right now. She just got back. And I guess I don't want to make Becky look bad at the same time also, but I'm sure a lot of people really believe that Sasha should have won the title tonight. But obviously they want to milk this, like I said before. Wait. They will wait till Hell in a Cell, and we will most likely see the rest of that match from there, and I'm sure it will be great. So this was like one of the big positives in a way throughout the night. It's a little up and down on it, but it was a positive. Next, Kofi Kingston versus Randy Orton for the WWE Championship. This one was a little bit of a hard one to follow when you look at it. Okay, number one, I felt like a lot of this crowd was somewhat dead throughout this entire match. Maybe because of what they just saw. I did not hate this match, though. I thought it was good, but they did move at a very slow and methodical pace at several times, because this match was really moving slow. And even so, me and someone else thought before, it's like this. They made this into a big feud on SmackDown. Both of these guys should be beating the crap out of each other. And even to a point also that Kofi Kingston should be more pissed coming out instead of doing the same entrance and throwing pancakes all over the place. I did not hate this match, though. Yeah, like I said, I did not hate this match, though, in a way, but it did move slow. It looked like it was kind of getting better. I will say the crowd was with Randy several times. They did kind of chant Randy out there several times, but he did hit an RKO. Kofi kicked out. He was gonna go for another RKO, but Kofi rolled up on him. Then Orton pretty much got him with. No, he already did the RKO out of nowhere, but Kingston had his foot on the bottom ropes. Orton pretty much then was about to go for the punt kick. It looked like we haven't seen that in a while, but Kofi ended up moving out the way and pretty much countered in a trouble in paradise, as he said, who's stupid now? So, yeah, to give Kofi the win over Randy Orton, okay? And trust me, to what I've seen is this. I'm sure a lot of people are already. A lot of people look like they really wanted Kofi Kingston to lose this championship, alright? They really did. They really kind of want him, because I've already seen throughout several weeks now, for a very long while, that they need to take the belt off of Kofi. Kofi needs to lose the belt. They need to put the belt on Orton. Several things. In a way, I almost thought Randy Orton was kind of mostly going to win this championship, only because of what I saw on SmackDown the other night. So I have no problem with Kofi Kingston winning. Honestly, I just kind of like that he won just to shut the haters up on the internet, because they all just wanted Kofi to lose the belt. Like, they need to put the belt on Orton. They need to move into something better with Fox. They just, like, people just complaining about Kofi. If it's one thing I can say about Kofi, he's probably like the best book face on pretty much the show out of all three champions, it looked like, because ever since where we can go all the way back to Mania, who has been booked the best out of these top three championships they were pushing? Who? Seth, Becky, or Kofi? Kofi is probably like the best booked you have. Seth's has been kind of up and down. Becky's has been kind of up and down. So I didn't even understand why a lot of people on the internet just kept giving Kofi so much hate for it. It's almost like they just said they did not look at him as a world championship, and they needed to take the belt off him. And already right now, people are just saying Brock's gonna win the belt. Brock is gonna win the belt. When they move to Fox, I'm gonna put the belt on Brock. Let's be honest here. If we just put the belt back on Brock only because it's a Fox move, and I know it's a Fox move, if that's gonna come into true, you're just putting the belt back on another part-timer, and you're almost gonna just go back into square one of things. Okay, it's almost like with Seth or Roman in the past with Brock. You're just gonna have a part-time champion who's not gonna show up. Now, if WWE book someone else, like, built them something big to take the belt off Kofi, maybe I would have been a little bit more understandable in that. But it's just, people just look like they were kind of hoping they would have taken the belt off Kofi, and the only other person you really have booked up well into this was Randy Orton right now. But I was a little bit surprised by the outcome, I will say that. And he got a clean win over Orton, so at least we can say that now. He beat Randy Orton, so I don't know if this feud will continue with him in the Hell in a Cell. I don't know. Okay, so we'll see what comes from that. But I had no problem with Kofi winning. I just wanted him to shut a lot of haters on the internet up, just because they just started moaning and bitching so many times about Kofi Kingston. And a lot of people just said this crowd was probably just waiting for Orton to beat him. Orton to beat him for the title so they could just pop for it. But hey, it didn't happen. But that's what I'm just going to what I've read off tonight, though, okay? But the match itself, I thought it was good for what it was. It just, the crowd wasn't really into it all the way, and I didn't really expect it to go that long. But hey, I got no problem with Kofi still retaining, though. But we'll see if they do this Brock thing. But if it is, it's going to be a Fox move, of course. But everybody seems so enamored on it, so I don't know. But hey, joke's on y'all tonight, so whatever. Next, Street Profits. Of course, they were backstage, which I actually thought this segment was funny this time, though. This was a little bit more funnier. They were talking about, Corbin and Gable, and then they started talking about the Lion King, about the King of the Ring and stuff. But every time they kept doing a whole bunch of Lion King references. What did he say? He says Rafiki, not Rikishi, but I like to see some stink face, and Ford told him to pause. Next thing you know, Booker T showed up. Sorry, King Booker showed up as he was here on the eve of the King of the Ring finals. Booker said he was going to give his royal declaration in regard to a win, but Angelo Dawkins pretty much says, you know what, man? I need you to knight me, man. Okay, you need to knight me, alright? Because, so you can tell the ladies, call me the Dark Knight around here, alright? Because that's what I am. But Booker pretty much looked at y'all like, man, what is this, man? Tell me you ain't just say that. Y'all ain't get y'all minds right, okay? Colin want me to knight y'all and want to interrupt my declaration. Ford pretty much says, like, man, you need to think before you speak, man. But next thing you know, Booker T came back and, he said, can you dig that, sucker? And that was the end of the segment. But I did like that segment, though. So I thought that was pretty funny. Next, a match that dragged on, which I almost thought this was going to be the main event tonight since people are already reporting this, but Roman Reigns versus Eric Rowan. The only title match that is not on the show, but is the co-main event out of the entire night. This match, holy crap, this went long. I did not care about a lot of what was going on around here, okay? Listen, I don't think anyone believed Eric Rowan was ever going to win this match on his own. Now, they did that, don't get me wrong, they worked hard out here in a way. They had a lot of big spots. The only things I really kind of like was Rowan kind of come with that crossbody when Roman had took the, stuff off the announce table and the power bomb through the announce table and stuff. But it was just a lot of hardcore spots, but the crowd didn't care. They looked like they were starting to turn on the show at one point, and it's almost like, who really believed Eric Rowan was going to win this? Why would you put this so late in the freaking show in the begin with? Yeah, and they fought through the crowd and, threw some production stuff at each other on stage. And Rowan, he tried to grab that camera cane, but the crane he did on SmackDown the other night, but Roman used it, and, he hit Rowan with it then and swung the camera at him a few times and knocked him down the entrance ramp with a Superman punch. But I guess Roman was about to do this big spear. But next thing you know, Luke Harper showed up. Finally, Luke Harper is back again. And he had different gear on. Pretty much Harper threw Roman into Rowan in. He hit him with a big clothesline, and Harper with a big clothesline, Rowan hit with the Iron Claw for the win. So, listen, I will say this. Eric Rowan is not a star. And this crowd clearly told you this man is not a star. That even when he had all these near falls, nobody believed he was going to win. In case Harper did not show up, no one believed he was going to win. Now, I will say this. I am glad Luke Harper is back, and I've kind of been saying for a while maybe he should be involved in this just because honestly, what has Luke Harper really done around here? And this guy wanted to lead the company, and they wouldn't let him. And what they do? Add another 6 months to his contract. But if something good can come from this, then I'm all for it. Okay, at least he's finally doing something. Luke Harper is finally doing something. All right, but I do have some questions in this, though, with him being back. I'm happy to see him back, and he's actually doing something. So maybe they did this because they don't want him going to AEW or going anywhere else. So that's most likely a big reason. But here's the thing with Harper is this. There's a lot of questions. Is Brian still involved in this? Or is it going to be another Wyatt family reunion? But let me ask this question to people, and this may be an unpopular opinion. How many times have we tagged Harper and Rowan together since the Wyatt family? Because it looks like we've tagged them together when they're in the Wyatt family, then when they break up, then they come back together, and then like they were against each other at one point, then you do the Bludgeon Brothers thing, and now you have them back together. In a way, I look at this as a fail-safe program for some reason. It's like a fail-safe plan. I'm going to tell you why. It's like this. Rowan is like a lost dog on his own. And if you notice several times, they've always put Harper with him. Now, I do believe Harper could be a single star on his own, but this company is clearly not going to let that happen. And in a way, I feel like Rowan is holding them back. And I'm looking at it like this. The more I just feel, it's like you have to put them together because that's the only way it's going to work. Especially for Rowan. He needs Harper. That's the thing. He needs him, and it's been like that many times of, I don't even know how many times they've reformed these two back together. But I said, I feel like Harper can become a single star, but I feel like he won't if they continue to put him with Eric Rowan. But that's the only way it's going to work. That really is. Because this is like, what, the fifth time you put these two back together? And I'm even wondering, like, how many times are we going to see Harper and Rowan, huh? How many? Because Rowan ain't no star in his own. And that clearly showed tonight that no one ever believed he was ever going to beat Roman to begin with. But with Harper getting involved now, I guess he may have been the one that was driving the car, or some say was he driving the forklift now during this whole who tried to kill Roman Reigns story. So what does that tell you? Huh? What does that really tell you. But you just gotta look at it. How many times are we gonna team these two together? Because they don't. It clearly tells me they have nothing else for Luke Harper. Okay, they really don't, and they won't put him on his own. So we must throw him back with Eric Rowan because you've done this many times in the past. And the last time you did it was with the Bludgeon Brothers, but one got hurt, and it wasn't really working to begin with, I felt like, just because they look like some bad comic book villains out there. So, I don't know. It's very questionable at the same time, but I'm just kind of glad to see Luke Harper back in general doing something, and hopefully something good comes from this. But you got to question yourself sometime. How many times have you put these two together, and is it really working? Because you're not going to put these guys on their own. Like I said before, Harper, I believe it could work on its own. I do. Rowan, the man's a lost dog out there without him. Or with anybody. Because no one buys into him being a big star. In a way, I just kind of felt like this match it felt like it went on forever. And I don't think anybody cared until they got to the finish. So that's my opinion on that. But main event time. Braun Strowman versus Seth Rollins for the Universal Championship. This was a good match. I did not know what to think of this at first, but Strowman immediately just taking out Rollins right at the beginning, throwing them all over the place right off the bat off this match. Strowman pretty much charged him in the ringside, and Seth doing everything he could to try to dodge Strowman. Even hit him like about a few suicide dives, even onto the announce table then, which you can see the Spanish announce table immediately got out of the way then. Rollins ended up kicking him on the Spanish announce table. He was going to go to the top, but Strowman pretty much got out the steps and knocked him. To knock him down, though. Pretty much whatever then. Strowman, which I thought this was almost a scary spot at one point when he was on the top rope. And you could see him almost slip, but he had a big splash on Rollins, pretty much grabbing his knee in after that, which he started to limp in. Rollins had him in a sleeper, but Strowman got out of it. Rollins pretty much hit him with a stomp, but Strowman kicked out. Hit him with another curb stomp, but he kicked out at the count of one. Hit him with a third curb stomp, but he still kicked out for a near fall then. Seth Rollins pretty much then went for a pedigree, took Strowman down, hit him with one more fourth curb stomp, after dodging the power slam and everything, and pretty much getting the win, because he went for the fourth curb stomp, but then he hit the pedigree, and then, like I said, the fourth curb stomp, and won the match clean. Surprisingly clean. I didn't even think they were going to have Strowman lose clean out here. But pretty much then, right after he beat Strowman clean, still holding the Universal title, he went back up to the stage, held the title up, but next thing you know, the crowd popped when the lights went out because they were all clamoring all night for Bray Wyatt to come out there. The Fiend, which pretty much he showed up then. He hit him with a Sister Abigail, started laughing, and then hit him a mandible claw, taking out Seth Rollins, which pretty much tells you, like they've already been promoting anyways, is that it will most likely be Seth Rollins versus Bray Wyatt at Hell in a Cell. He has said "see you in hell" several times. He has mentioned Strowman and Rollins several times. So now, I'm sure tomorrow night it'll be official. Seth Rollins versus Bray Wyatt at Hell in a Cell for the Universal Championship. Like I said, the match itself, though, I did think it was a good match with Seth and Braun. In general, I was just surprised that it was a clean finish. But I guess, like my friend said tonight, WWE wanted to be NXT and just give you what they want instead of holding out tonight, because they were all waiting for Wyatt to take out Seth and Braun tonight, and they gave them what they wanted. So there you go. I'm sure now that people are happy, and it was a cool visual at the end to take out Rollins. But here's the question now going into this. I know there's time to build up in Hell in a Cell now. Should Bray Wyatt be losing? No, because now he is back. This is now his first big title match that's now against Seth Rollins. Will they put the belt on him off of Seth Rollins at Hell in a Cell? I don't know. I don't know what to expect. But there's time to build into this, and we'll see what happens with this whole Seth Rollins and Bray Wyatt feud. So let's give it time, and we'll see where it goes. But overall, I thought this was a decent show. I don't think it was a bad show. I will say I'm in the middle. I'm in a middle area on this. There are some things I did like. I did like the Becky and Sasha thing, even though I think the finish was kind of dumb, but I still did like it though. I did like the WWE title match, even though it still kind of moved slow. I think I was just glad Kofi won it. The main event was pretty good. Even though I still think they shouldn't have been on the pre-show, with the little quick bursts AJ and Cedric had, I thought that was okay. What else was on this damn show? Like I said, I'm trying to count the good and bad from it, but we did see how many title changes did we really see on this show tonight? Like one title change, I believe. Yeah, one title change. But listen, what I didn't like though is this. I didn't care about the Intercontinental title match. The women's tag match, just kind of whatever too at the same time. The Revival winning, good on them, because at least they're trying to make them look serious, but it still makes no sense having a Raw team win a SmackDown tag title. It doesn't, and that crowd kind of showed out there to begin with too, of how they did not care. The Bayley versus Charlotte thing, I'm a little iffy on that. I'm just surprised it was so fast, and I guess they're really trying to make Bayley look like a heel out there now as a chicken shit heel. So I guess it may be a slow burn, so I'm not kind of counting that as a bad thing all the way, but I'm iffy on it. The tag belts, the Raw tag belts, I did not care about that, because I knew it was going to win once I saw who came out first, and it was the champions. But what else? I don't know the titles we got on this damn show. Cruiserweight was good for what it was, I will say that too. So it wasn't a bad show. It wasn't. This was probably one of the somewhat better shows in a way. I'm not saying it was that better, but in a way, I'm in a gray area of a little up and down. It's a little middle ground, but I'm kind of like up and down on some parts to what I did and did not like, because some things just kind of bored me out of my mind. I was happy to see Luke Harper back. I did not give no crap about Roman versus Rowan in general, because I just felt like that match went on forever and nobody really cared except for Luke Harper coming out. Bray Wyatt was another big thing too tonight, of him attacking Seth Rollins. So yeah, there's a couple of good and bad things, but some things off of a DQ finish are gonna lead into Hell in a Cell. So we're already building matches into the next pay-per-view that's happening. So like I said, I did not hate this show. I thought it was a little bit up and down on some parts. Some things made no sense, some things didn't. In a way, I was happy to see some things like, hey, Kofi winning shut some people up on the internet so they can still complain, so that's on them. But trying to see what else I did like from this show. I said the women, the Raw women title. The women's tag belts are just kind of whatever. So yeah, I think like most, we only really got one title change on here tonight. Like I said, in a way, I almost thought the Revival and Orton were gonna hold all the gold, but guess not. So we'll see what happens next from this. So other than that, I'm going to roll out from here. I got shows to go watch right now. I need to go watch Power. I need to go watch Fear the Walking Dead. And I need to go watch Preacher. Okay, so I got some shows to watch before I go to sleep tonight. But other than that, comment, subscribe. Tell me what you think about Clash Champions tonight. Did you like this show? Did you hate this show? What do you really think about what went on here tonight? Were you surprised by some of the outcomes or anything? I don't know. Just tell me what you thought about this show tonight. But comment and subscribe. Like I said before, follow me on Twitter at HoodedKnight890. I'm going to roll from here. Like I said before, I got shows to go watch, so I'm out of here. I will see you guys later. Peace out.